So I'm back again. This is Elizabeth in my art loft, and I am here for the final and fourth and final, I guess I should say it that way, installment on the glue up and making of the box for My Secret Garden. My Secret Garden book. In case you haven't been watching and you came in on this one first, I suggest you watch the other three first, but as you wish. Okay, so for this, we need to go ahead, and I was in the middle of gluing this up when I ran out of my half an hour time. I like to keep my videos at a half an hour because otherwise it takes forever to upload them, and I don't know, I've got to figure that out one of these days, but it's not as important to me as getting things done, so I don't worry with it. I got some glue here, and I'm going to get rid of that with my little wet cloth before it soaks in. Okay, and glue that over there, glue that over there. Make sure I press down my corners, which I will do as soon as my glue is a little bit drier. I got a little extra there, so we'll blot some of that off. That was a little too much. Okay, move this out of the way again. So we're on the final legs of doing this. It's going to be beautiful. And if we have extra time, I can show you some of the other kind of boxes I've made. Okay, on this, we have to wait on this until, actually we're ready for this, aren't we? So as soon as this dries, which is almost dried, it's dried enough, and this side is, we'll just put these guys over here and make sure these dry down flat, flat, flat. Go flat, you. My corners, I want my corners nice and flat right there, and since they have a little bit extra bulk because they have the fold over from this side and then the fold over from that side, I want to make sure that they get down really flat. Okay, so this is going to go onto these hinges here. So before we put this on. So that's going to be a little weird, probably. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple, there's my magnet. Take a couple of these and we're going to punch them in through this side. Punch them out, I guess, to the other side would be out, because that's going to be our outside of our box. Might as well do all four while I'm at it. I'm just taking that brad and pushing it down through that hole. I could have done it, I was going to do it with my needle punch. Doesn't make any difference, whatever you want to punch it with. Whatever punches. Okay, so punch that through there, punch that through there. Make sure we got a hole big enough for our brads to go through. I think this one, of course I put the brad through, so it would have been big enough. And you can barely, I don't know, can you see those holes? If I put a light under it, you could, but then I'd be shining a light in your eye, and you might not like that either. And there's a little bit of glue there, so we're going to get rid of that. This book cloth, this particular book cloth is very forgiving, and Yes Paste washes out of everything. Some other glues would not, so you might see them if you were to get them on the outside. For example, if you used our old friend, the, what do you call that? Art glitter glue. That would show on the outside. If we got some of that on there, you wouldn't be able to get that entirely off. Okay, so we've got to put those in before we close it up. So I made my tolerances really close, and I probably should have been a little more tolerant and made them a little farther apart. I was trying to be funny there. It wasn't really, was it? Okay, so that one goes in there, and that one goes in there. You know, if I can find the hole there. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm putting, okay, I hope I'm in focus now. Putting this through that hole that we pre-punched, if I can find it. Come on, hole. You're there somewhere. Okay, so then I put that through the hole, and I'm going to flip that over now. Come on, you guys. Right there. And then I'm going to spread these apart, and that should go right there like that. I have to turn these around. And spread them apart, because I do want them to go side to side just like I had those other ones go, which we can't see now because we've already glued that up. Come on, fingernail in between them. Yay. And this one. And again, I'm going to give it a little hammer here, hammer there, and get that guy over there, hammer there. Making down even flush with the board. And then we're going to get the other side of it, 2 more little brads, little star-shaped brads, and push those through the holes just like we did before with the hinge on there. Come on, there's a hole there somewhere. Can't even get it through the hinge. I was holding it wrong. Alright, it helps if you have them both together to start with. Oh, don't be obstinate. Okay, there we go. Holding them together, pressing them through the hole. Oh, come on. Now, why do you have to be difficult when you're the last one? Well, you're not the last one. You're next to the last one. But the last one probably be bad, too. Alright, where's the hole? Come on, baby. Gotta have them lined up. Okay, come on. Now see, everything else went together nicely, and so the last little thing has to be a pain in the whatever. Okay, I'm going to try to punch that hole a little better if I can get it, my punchy tool. There we go. Thank goodness. Okay, so spread these out. You go that way, I'll go that way. And spread these out. Turn these a little bit. Check that. Okay, give it the old hammer. And everybody feels flat. And we're ready to glue this. Now we have to be a little bit careful gluing this because we don't want to get on our beautiful part there. So we'll put this in the way so that hopefully if anything gets gooey, it will be the newsprint instead of our other side of our book stuff. I'm going to get in this corner, all along the edge, of course, and in that corner. I know my hands are in the way. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, I did get some on our newsprint. Didn't get any on our book yet. I mean our cover yet, so that's good. Get these guys out of the way. Okay, pull that down. And we do have a little bit of a ditch in between there, which is okay too. Don't think that's going to matter We'll test it in a moment and see. And if it does, I may be making the whole top all over again. That has happened before and will happen again, I am sure. Okay, make sure our corners are down. In fact, let's take these little guys and just give them a clamp here. It looks good though, huh? I like the way it looks. I have a little glue there that I'm going to get rid of. Must have bumped the glue pot or something. We have some stuff from our table. Okay. I should wipe off my table while I'm at it. Let me have a second to do that. And the whole table moved. Okay. That's going to wiggle, I think, because the size of the hole in the hinge is larger than the prongs of the brads. So it's going to wiggle a little bit because it can, you know, move on those brads. The hinges can move on those brads. It's not the brads actually moving, it's the hinges on the throat of the brad. Okay, so now to make sure that this is going to fit, we're going to take this, we're going to put our box there, get rid of this out of there, and that's how that's supposed to fit. Now, it's actually, looks like it's about 1/8 of an inch too tall. I hope the other side isn't. But if this is 1/8 of an inch too tall, then we might be able to fix it by cutting down our board before we put it on there. And you can see what I mean because it's holding, see how it fits on the box? Of course, we're going to have a little bit more paper in there too, aren't we? So maybe not. No, if we do that, we're going to have a gap, and I'm not going to like that, so I'm going to have to fix it. Alas. Okay, on the other side, let's see if this is going to fit too. Let's see, you can't test this until you actually got it to this point because the it won't be this size until you've got all that extra wrapping in there. The red cloth, book cloth in here. Yep, this one's a smidge too large too. It's going to look good when it's done, eh? Okay, so I'm going to try to fix this on the fly. And if it doesn't work, then I'll start all over. But if it does work, I'll be happy. I won't have to start all over. So what I'm going to do is trim off 1/8 of an inch on this board, which is going to be tricky at the corners, but we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. There's my good X-Acto knife. Just have to be careful when you're doing this. This is really thick board, and you want to make sure that you don't go through your book cloth. Plus, you want to make sure that you don't cut your fingers, because if you're pushing too hard with your X-Acto knife, you could, well, anyway, it can jump over that ruler anytime it wants, and then you're in trouble. Okay, so that feels about right there. Okay, so let's see what we've got. I'm going to pull this loose from here, and then we'll reglue it. Got to cut in this cut that we've made all the way through to the other side. tricky part is the ends where I've already got that glued. I'm going to have to trim that off and glue that. But it'll work. I know, don't put my thumb there like that. Okay, I'm going to cut a little bit further down in this. And I'm going to cut up under this. Okay, I'm holding my thumb down out of the way. Should turn off the camera and start all over and not do this on camera. It might be easier, but you wouldn't learn as much, so we'll go ahead and do it. Just be very careful not to catch your thumb in the way, or your finger, whichever way. Come on, get your knife blade in there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Trying to keep that. Okay, let's go from this side and see if it'll work better. Beautiful. Okay, we've got that much done. Do not cut through the cloth. If you cut through the cloth, I'm going to be starting all over and I'm not going to be happy. Okay, this edge is good. Trim that up just a little bit there. And you thought this was going to be easy. Silly people. I could have told you something had to go wrong. It's the way it works. But we fix it, so it doesn't matter. Right? Right. You can also take a piece of, if this isn't smooth enough, you can take a piece of sandpaper and sand that off. And sometimes you can take your scissors and do not fall on the floor, X-Acto knife. That is not a good thing. Annoying, isn't it? Okay, we have it perfect now. Have a bunch of fluffies around though. Okay, we're going to put that in there like that. Trim that just a smidge. Bring my scissors. And now we're ready to glue that corner, that side up. Now I can glue up, trim off a little bit because it doesn't need all that on there. But we'll take care of that in a second. We want this corner to look good. Pull that over all the way to there. And I need my wet cloth, which has deserted me. Oh, there it is. Got it. And I'm going to trim off this red stuff. There's a little too much of it. Now, where did I get glue there? Okay, why didn't you tell me I had glue there? Okay, now I've got to get all the glue off that I put on it accidentally. Things are getting annoying here. I'm going to cover that over like that. I'm going to get these blue pieces off of here that it was beautiful a minute ago. Beautiful now. Okay. Let's fix this side here. And there. Ah, now that looks good. Come on, get in there right. Sorry, I had to get that corner just right. There, he looks perfect now. And of course I did slice my book cloth ever so slightly, but no one will know it. You won't tell them, will you? So I'm going to fix that too. I'll put my things on the corners to make beautiful corners. Clamps on the corners. There we go. Put that aside for now. And I will glue up this piece because he's ready to glue up. But, oh, we forgot to, oh no, he is right. No, he did need to be trimmed off just a little on this edge. Okay, so we'll do that real quick. And it's got a wobble because it's got the little hitch in there. Should take you about 4 or 5 scores to go through the board. See how we're doing. Oh, that went through pretty nicely. Gotta pull that back a little bit. Now see, if I glued that with some other glue, I wouldn't be able to do that at all. I would be crying. Sometimes you put your ruler in there to hold it up so that you don't cut the cloth. It's kind of like carving, eh? Probably getting bad time already. Let's see what we're doing on time. 23 minutes. I got 13. Well, I would just have to do what I can here and have one more, I guess. It won't take too long. That's what happens when things mess up. It takes longer then. Quit gluing to my finger. What I did was wet that, and then the glue will come loose. So I can get that extra little piece of paper off there, otherwise it's going to make an extra thickness. Which really isn't going to matter that much. I guess I don't really even have to worry about that. But I do. Especially if it's more than one thickness. How to deconstruct a box. We didn't mean to have to do this. This was not part of the show. There we go. Now we're ready to re-glue this. The only thing that I haven't done is glue it to the box and glue the inside, the liner paper to the inside of the top. But we'll do that in a moment, and everything will be beautiful again. Get rid of all this stuff off my table. And I don't have enough time to do both of those, so I'm going to stop now and do one more video, which will be a really short one for the last little bit. I'm going to have this glued up by then, though, and we'll just put the top onto the, I want to get glue down into there where I've taken it out of. But we'll just put the top, the lid onto the box, and we will put the the liner paper on the lid first, and then the lid onto the box. Okay, I'll see you then. You guys have fun. Don't have problems with your box lids. It's a pain in the butt. Uh-oh, said butt. Shame on me. Trimming this just a little because it doesn't even have to be nearly that wide. And I'll see you next time. Bye.